Alright, today we're going to install the Samsung SSD 850 Pro. I've got some cables here just in case there's not enough inside. What I'm installing it in is the Alienware, and I've got some tools here as well, which can just be found with mobile phone repairs and some. First of all, it's quite simple. At the back here, you can just do some couple of clips, just slide it like that, lift it up. As you can see in here, my SSD's on top, so I'm going to move all this stuff. There's a wire here that's connected basically on the side there, as you can see. I'm going to basically disconnect that, so make it easier for the case to come off. And I don't want to damage anything inside. On this section here is right here, which holds the Blu-ray player, and underneath is my hard drive. So my SSD is still here, still connected, no dramas there. I'll remove that in a second, and we'll go from there. Okay, next stage, after removal of the Blu-ray player, which is here as you see, just disconnect the loom at the back quite simply. I'm going to remove the graphics card. Hard drive's right underneath it as well, so this is just going to free up all this area. So when you remove these bolts, quite simply it will click up, and you can see in here down the bottom there, it's connected in down there. So this was quite simply removed by lifting up, and it will slowly, just gently come off the board. Just make sure, don't force it. Like I said, if you do force it, you will damage the card. So slowly and gently remove it from the back. I find quite easy, and it will come up. There's a loom at the bottom here, as you can see. It's still plugged in the side. Just make sure you unplug that. Don't reef it. If you do reef it, you will damage it. Again, the fan inside this is a little bit dirty. I'll give that a quick clean too while I'm here. Okay, now the cards out. You can see cards over here, my P and Y. You can see how much room we've got to play with. So this SSD is still connected. I'm going to move it and place it over here, make the cables a lot nicer. That hard drive is quite large, takes a lot of space. So basically my plan is to have these SSDs will be in this slot here. So I'm going to make them nicely fit across there to the back. I'm going to also stick them down so they don't roll around, etc, etc. So I want these to be, this will also save me a lot of room, not just that, air efficiency at the back here, because this thing's quite bulky. These things are more streamlined, flat. The air will circulate better through there. And considering my graphics card, which is there, sits on top of this, which generates heat, basically it sucks the heat and spits out the back, but I want to minimize that heat, and these SSDs run quite cool. All right, I'll get to it. Okay, quite simply, to remove the hard drive, all of this section here, you got a screw, unscrew that, quite simply like that. It's out, make sure you remove it. Pull to the rear, so it's in a loom in the front here. Pops out, that's it. That's simple, guys and girls. It just comes out. If you want to remove it, you can remove it out of the casing on the side here. You can see the bolts, quite simply remove it from there. Now, as you can see, all this room here, fantastic. I'm going to use this for my SSDs. This is where they're going to sit. All right, get to it. So it can nicely fit in like that. That's what I'm going to basically do. I'm going to try and put the more streamlined like that. So plug straight into that loom. No mucking around. Don't have to worry about power. I will have to chock it up a little bit. I'm going to put some adhesive on the bottom. So basically, it's all stuck together now with double-sided Velcros, which are all these things here, just to hold it in place nice and tight. The Intel's on top. That's a smaller one. 215 is on top, and I've got basically stuck on top the Intel, the small SSDs on top, and my new Samsung on the bottom with Velcros, just to make it a bit more nice and a bit more clean. I've cleaned out the fans, as you can see, quite a lot of dirt in them, dust. I'm going to put it back together now in reverse pretty much, so the graphics card will be going first. So basically in reverse again, I put the power in first, I push it down, line it up to these lines here, make sure the graphics card's in so these holes will match up. So next thing you got to do is you got to put all the screws in. So quite simply put those screws in position like that. That's it. Continue. Next thing is replace this back, slides back in, make sure the cable's in, guys. I've done it myself in the past, just make sure that goes in, otherwise no power. So make sure you line up these, basically you should just slide in on a little slider there, slide straight in the spot, put the screw in here, and away you go. Next is the fan shroud, again, just straight on top, line those holes up, and put those screws back in. Very simple. Okay, after you put the shroud in, last but not least, just hook this back up. So the cable here, that's connected back into there. So quite simply, all you do is line that up and plug it into that loom there. Alright, Case is just slid back on and ready to test. Alright, booting it up. It's test time. Alright, this is booted up really nice and quick. So you should have software now to basically migrate. If you need to migrate, we'll go from there. So last but not least, I'm cloning my old disk to my new disk. So I had a small Intel, and I'm going to clone it with the migration software. It's all on the CD, it comes with it. Going to clone it straight across, so hopefully that all goes nice and easy, smooth transition, and we'll go from there. Once it boots up, this will be probably a couple of hours, we'll come back, check it. So I'll go back to this later on and we'll check out how this is done, and it should boot up nice and quick. Having two SSDs now,